This is the first in our multi-part series on visiting the Western Railway Museum. Our friend Hunter Lohse was kind enough to show us around. Let's go look at some streetcars.
This is Railroad Showcase.
The Western Railway Museum is located on Highway 12 between Fairfield and Rio Vista in California. It is one of the premier electric railway museums in the West, and it has about 100 pieces of equipment. The focus of the collection is the Sacramento Northern, the Key System, and Muni of San Francisco. But there's also equipment from the Western Pacific and other railways thrown in for good measure. So, as the story goes, the founding organization, the Bay Area Electric Railway Association, started as a group of guys right after the war ended. In 1946, they chartered a run on the old Key System 271 car. And they were on this ride, and up to this point, they were a group of guys who got together socially, they showed slides and movies and went on excursions, and that was what the organization was. But as they were taking this ride on Key System 271, the car, it was already 45 years old at this time, and it was about to be scrapped. Just a few weeks later, it was going to go to the torch. And they didn't want to see that happen, so they literally dug into their pockets, passed the hat, and all of a sudden now their organization was equipment owning. For the next 15 years, they kept adding more and more equipment. And by 1960 or the late 50s, they realized that they were going to have a permanent place to store this equipment. And they bought 22 acres at Rio Vista Junction in 1960, and this was on the Sacramento Northern main line. By the 90s, UP owned that main line. In 1993, it donated 22 miles of the right-of-way, and at this point, 5 of those miles has been rebuilt and re-electrified. Hunter Lohse, film archivist for the museum, takes us on a very knowledgeable tour of the facility.
Okay, so this building that we're standing in front of right now is the original Greyhound bus station for Rio Vista Junction. This was where the Sacramento Northern trains would come in, and the average speed through here was about 60 miles an hour. And the passengers would transfer here to either go to a Greyhound bus that would go to Rio Vista or Ileton. And also, too, you will see a heart-shaped plaque here, and there's still a red light there in this building. So this is probably the most important building on the property. This is the Del Paso substation. It's one of 3 substations that we have on the property. This takes about 3,000 volts AC and converts it to 600 volts DC to charge the wire. This is the Del Paso substation building that came out from the Sacramento area along the Sacramento Northern. But the electrical equipment in here is actually from the BART test track in the 1970s. The electrical equipment from the original Del Paso substation is at Orange Empire Railway Museum in a replica structure. This was the second substation that was built on the property. Originally we were using a portable rotary substation from the Sacramento Northern on a boxcar to power the trains. And the Del Paso substation was the very first substantial substation that we built, and it's still our main substation that we use.
Thanks for watching. For the full segment on the Western Railway Museum, please go to rrshowcase.com and sign up to be a gold or a silver spike member.
Tell us how we did. Like, comment. That feedback is really how we know what you guys want to see or what you don't want to see.
We appreciate you coming along for the ride, and remember, keep your hand on the throttle and your eye on the rail.